Hey guys, it's Mr. Calderon with Queen My Pawn, and YOLO Puzzle is asking me about a game that he played. Hello, Mr. Calderon. Thank you for offering this service. It is very hard for me to get my game analyzed by another player. I didn't know what type of game you wanted me to send you. One of my worst, one of my best, or an average game. I prefer you send me one of your worst games because that way we have a lot to improve on. And that way we know what mistakes you should definitely avoid. You can also try sending me an average game. In case you're having a bad day, you don't send me one on a bad day, and just send me one where you think you're making the same mistake over and over again. So I decided to send you this game, my last one. I also want to ask you a question. After you see my game, why am I stuck at 1500 and being around 2400 in puzzle? What is holding me back? Thank you in advance. So what I find is that when you have an opportunity to take advantage of one of your opponent's mistakes, then you are doing well at that. But maybe your position itself is not as good. Like, you're not constructing a strong sandcastle. You're constructing one where it's like got a bad foundation, so the water can just wash it away super fast. The water being your opponent. So why don't we just take a look at the game? You see that you're white here, so let's go ahead and check out the game. So e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, bishop c5, the Hugo piano, b4, the Evans gambit. Oh, what? This guy gave you a free bishop? That's crazy. So I think that one of the reasons why you could be having problems from losing, well, you actually won this game, but one of the problems that you could have here is that maybe you didn't defend well. And it's really easy. Just get the rook out and play king g8, and that's it. You're good. Who cares about that other pawn, right? So he played d5, which is another free pawn. You shouldn't take with that because this pawn is blocking this pawn. If you take with the bishop and he takes the pawn there, you're up a piece. I would probably suggest playing either knight to c3 or rook to f1, but that the knight, it's a weaker piece, you need to play this. Okay? And that's really all I have to say here. So you play e takes c5, which isn't a good move because you also block your bishop. Knight takes b4. c3 is not a good move, man. You need to bring out your pieces. So today I've seen that all my everyone that sent me a question has not brought out their pieces. You need to bring out your pieces. Enough said. If you play something like c6, trying to play queen b6 next, then you need to play rook to e1. And if queen b6, you can play d4. Awesome, right? So yeah, let's go back to c3. That's kind of dubious. You could just take the knight now, right? That's what I would do. I don't see any other checks he has. The thing is that this knight can not protect this square. So here's something bad that could happen, for example. Pawn takes, knight takes. This is a blunder here, because now your bishop gets forked. So that would be really ugly, right? So you don't want that. Instead, when he takes here, you give him a check. He has to block with something. Whatever he blocks with, he doesn't have the fork anymore. Instead, if he tries to do something like this, he still does have the fork. So you need to play something like d3. If queen to h4, now it's going to get a little scary, but you allowed this. g3, queen takes h2, but now you can do this. And he only has this check, but look, the rook is protecting the queen, right? So you go back here, he checks you, that's true, but now he is really most definitely out of checks, and you're up a piece. And it's true, your king is looking a little bare, but his queen's under attack. Where's he gonna go, right? So maybe he'll try to go over here, but then you just instantly bring your queen out and everything's good to go. So rook to e1. That's good. You pin the pawn. He takes. You take the pawn. Awesome. You took back the center. He brings out his knight. Now maybe you can play bishop to a3. Maybe castles. Then just bishop takes, and if queen takes, then you have rook takes. If knight takes, then you have bishop takes. Because you have this knight, you're very well defended here. So let's see, you gave a check, which, look, just because you can give a check doesn't mean it's the best thing to do. You could have played bishop d7 and you'd have to move your queen back. Where would you move it back to? Maybe queen to b3, but then you have c6. And you may win a pawn here, but you may not because of this. Well, yeah, it's true. You may win a pawn. So either way, it's gonna be okay. You have a superior position here. So I could say that tactically you're doing right, but I think the problem is this. You think that your tactics will solve everything, but you need to get your pieces out. Like, I know you're having a fun time having tactical blows with just a few pieces, but look, these are the pieces you're not using. What a master can do is that in positions where you need to bring out all your pieces, you're able to use every single one of them. That's your next step for improvement. I still see those 3 pieces in the back and it's like they're in jail. T6, queen b3. He castles, and you see you haven't brought out a single piece. You have to play d4 here, so you can bring out the bishop, bring out the knight, get another defender on the king, you know? But right now you're not really doing any of that. This is a useless capture because you're not being forced to capture it. So he takes back and now you're under attack. Of course it would say it's a blunder because the rook is under attack. You have to move it. It likes this the most, reclaiming the center, and you have a strong advantage, but you still need to bring out your pieces and it can be hard to do that. That's a free bishop. No, this isn't good because now you're activating his rook. See, I think that's something you didn't see. Now you might be telling me, oh, but Mr. Calderon, I don't see that he can win a piece here. I don't see that his rook's going to do anything inclusive. I think that's the thing that's stopping you from getting to a new level 1600, because you're still at 1500 because you think that just because he can't do it now doesn't mean he can't do it later. Like, he will be able to do something with rook to b2 eventually. You're giving him that chance. Don't give him a chance. So he plays queen to d6. No, you should bring out a new piece, please. So yeah, you're not bringing out your pieces either. You're moving the same piece twice in the opening, and yeah, you got lucky there. I don't know why he did that. Like, I see no way that any opponent that I ever play will ever do that. I know, it's like he was like, you know what, man? I don't think he was thinking at all. So your problem is that you are not bringing out your pieces and you're giving your opponent too many chances. Like, that rook to b8 move could have been done. So make sure not to allow your opponent any chances and bring out all your pieces. In your next couple of games, you should try bringing out all your pieces and watch how easy it is to play. So if you like this video, make sure to click the thumbs up button. If you want to subscribe, make sure to do that by clicking the red button so you can get more of my content, and I'll see you on the next one.